Can everybody hear me okay? Give me an emoji. Let's do some emoji practice. Give me an emoji. What emoji would you choose for hearing me? Yay! Right, pretty good, pretty good.
Ear emoji.
Yeah, I gave a talk a couple of weeks ago on coincidences, and it was less of a technical talk and more of a story. And it was strange because as I was telling the story, you don't get the reactions from the people as much from you guys. You don't hear laughter, for instance, because usually the audience gets muted. And it's hard with that feedback. You just have to believe, well, okay, hopefully they're laughing on the inside, that kind of thing. All right. So welcome to the Nodist Colony Theater. Nodist Colony Theater. And around us are these globes, and inside them is a creativity framework. And you can go visit those at any time. What we'll do is we'll probably end the evening, or if it's evening for you, we'll end it with a visit to the cloud. And there's a cloud that overlooks this. And then if you favorite the cloud, you can always find your way back and see the creativity framework that surrounds us. So I've been doing talks here. I'm Dr. Abstract. This is my signature up here. D. Right there, the letter D, and then R, and then A for Dr. Abstract. And this says the abstraction channel. Well, that's where we are, the abstraction channel. So you're always welcome to go out and fave that so that you can find more events here at the Nodist Colony. We gave a talk on avatars. So we talked about how your avatar can get really high instantly. That's always good. We gave a talk on reality, like virtual reality, and then the coincidences one. So this is our fourth one on interfaces. Bum, bum, bum. So that's what I do in my what do we call our real? I don't want to call it real life because this is almost becoming a real life to me. How about you guys? Yeah, a little bit. You know, it's a lot of fun here. So in my other life, what do we? This is alt space. So the alt space, pre alt space. Anyway, the meat space. Okay, yeah. Hey, from sci-fi. Yeah, the meat space. I actually do make interfaces for a coding framework called Zim. And these are some examples of that. Actually, wouldn't mind. Shall I get a laser? Oh, yeah? You guys want to see a laser in action? That's always good. And they're just in behind here. One sec.
How do you jump up?
How do you jump up, indeed?
I think he's sitting down and then he stands on a chair.
Yeah, I can't jump up now because I need this hand to jump up. And if I jump up when I have the laser, then I drop the laser. Interface issues. So I'll show you maybe how to jump up later. So here's the laser. Watch out, it's out of control. Yeah. So over here, we've got an art piece, and the framework, it's a canvas framework, which means it's sort of for artists and game makers and stuff like that. But anyway, we can make this art, and these are the controls to control the art. This one changes the curvature, and this one changes the speed. And so the framework has, these things are dials. And over here, these are sliders. Oh, look at those sliders. You've probably used those, haven't you, those types of things. So our framework makes a bunch of those. Another dial there, here's a selector. So these are all inputs. And even this whole touchpad is an input, that's a selector. A multi-touch, where we can multi-touch and play music. So that's what I do. One of the things that I do in the real life. I'm an inventor, first and foremost, but I help other people make these types of things. So games and gadgets and art online. Well, that's all 2D. And what we're going to talk about today is more 3D. So, because we're in alt space. So this is actually in alt space. Here is a place called the Pagoda Scope. It's a world that I've made. And what I did for the DJs, well, if there are DJs, but people who might want to play some music at the Pagoda Scope probably want a DJ table. I don't know if you've seen them here in AltSpace. There are some that kind of look like records, and that's what I'm going for. It's really just a picture, but I'm imagining that the DJ would like to stand here and go, oh yeah, look at these controls that I'm using. All right, woohoo! So there's that 2D stuff in AltSpace. Wouldn't it be nice though if that were really interactive in here? And I'm kind of hoping we get to that one day. Here at the Pagoda scope, when you build in AltSpace, you've got to think a little bit about interfaces. So I'm going to show you some interfaces that relate to the Pagoda scope itself. Then I'm going to take you through some of our beloved AltSpace interfaces and take a look at some VRCHAT interfaces. So that's the plan. After the VRCHAT interfaces, if we have time, I'd like to take you through some of the world building interfaces here in AltSpace. So just taking a look at some of the thoughts that went into the Pagoda scope. Look, an accessibility ramp, which is really funny because believe it or not, some people here in AltSpace don't actually know how to use the jumping. They might be new, right? And they don't know how to teleport. You could certainly teleport up onto the top levels, but I have found that a number of people still like to use that ramp, which is kind of funny, huh? And we've also got a pathway across. So this is inside the pagoda. Oh, wait, I got a laser. Oh, yeah. We've got a pathway going across. This is inside the pagoda scope. So that means it's a little bit tricky to see what's going on, but it's like being inside a kaleidoscope. So we've got a pathway going across there. Another thing that happens in the pagoda scope, and anybody who is there has probably experienced this. You go inside, it's like video walls all around you as well as reflection walls. So you can see yourself in there, you can see videos going on. It can be a little bit claustrophobic for some people who want to get out and can't figure out how to get out. So that's what happens. You go inside here and all the walls, all of a sudden, if you go through this door, like from the outside, you can see through into the inside. But once you're inside, you can't see out to the outside. So the people that go in are feeling kind of like, oh, I'm trapped. How do I get out? And as a matter of fact, in one of our parties, it took a little while for us to realize that some girl was going around going, how do I get out? So we finally realized it, and then everybody's very helpful. So here's what we did. The problem is if we put an exit sign, so imagine we're inside, if we put an exit sign right up here by the door, this is the door right here. The problem is because it's see-through from the outside, people would see the exit sign sitting up there in the door. And we didn't want to do that because that sort of hurts the design of the whole place. So what we did instead, do you see it? Is we put a red ramp right in here at the bottom, and you kind of jump up as you go in. Well, when you're on the inside, so this is the inside wall, there's the red ramp right there. So basically, one of the walls inside has this ramp that you can see and say, oh, okay, that's how I get out. All right. Here was another issue we had, and welcome, you guys. Come on in, have a seat. Here's another issue that we had. These things, which you can pick up, are really cool looking, like you spin them and make trails. They're quite cool, but when they're stationary, they are invisible. So it's really hard to pick them up because you can't see them. So what we did instead over here is we put these 3 glowing boxes. We made them not collidable, but where those 3 glowing boxes are these invisible wands. They're just sitting there. And so when people try and go and reach the invisible boxes, they end up picking up the wand. They don't even realize what's happening, but that's what happens. That was our solution. I don't think you can see a little dark box there. No, probably not. Maybe the resolutions. And it's sort of a minor issue. That dark box is far away. What we did is we gave our moderators a place where they could talk. Our moderators are German and they love to talk. Not that all Germans like to talk, but anyway. So there they are talking away, but if our music is loud, they couldn't hear. So I gave them with the roll off, it's called, so the music gets quieter the farther away you go. I gave them a little platform all of their own. But when you were standing here, up here and looking out, you could see a white platform. And it was kind of like, I didn't really want people to see it. So I hid it with a black cylinder. That was the solution there. Okay. And then the last one, what we're doing now is just taking a look at some of the interfaces of this place called the Pagodoscope. And we're about to, this is the last one of that, I think. And then we're about to go in and take a look at the Altspace interfaces specifically. So for this one, do you recognize that right there? What's that?
Signature. Your signature.
That's right. And so I'm down in the Pagodoscope. The Pagodoscope is many, well, 4 levels high, 3 levels high, or something like that. And so way up there is my signature, and it looks down upon the people. It's almost like a signature of the Pagodoscope. I've signed it as an artist. But look, it reads Dr. Abstract. Well, when I actually made the signature, this is up on top of the roof, that meant I had to build it backwards. So it's built backwards when you're up top so that people from underneath can see it. Cool, huh? So that brings us to a point right here, and that is the interfaces. A nice diagram, huh? Interfaces work both for output and input. We tend to think of interfaces as something that we get to control or use, like buttons and sliders and dials. But also there's the output side of things, like display, the screen is an output, etc. So interfaces work both ways, and it's not just you and the machine, but interfaces is interaction or provides interaction also between you and somebody else, like multiple users. But generally, you've got a system of some sort, and the interface is the input and output into that system. Okay? So now we turn to the Altspace interfaces, which is nice. This first one, if you think about it, is pretty cool. You know why this is cool? All the things you can do, yes, but it's cool because 4 months ago, this was not here. And I like that Altspace and Microsoft are still changing the interfaces and improving. It's like, yay. It makes me feel like, okay, somebody's here. Yay. So this is pretty good. I mean, it's okay. This strikes me a little bit odd. If this isn't the main menu, but that is, it's sort of like, well, is that really the main menu? You know, I'm not sure. The first one I see is the proto main menu or whatever, but that's fine. So that's sort of where our traditional menu is in there. We're going to go take a look at that. I'm not even sure quite what destinations is, but I think it's a combination of both maybe events and worlds. I don't know what happens when I poke that. I don't mind the code. The code's okay, where we get to put in a specific numeric code to get to any world. Let's have a show of hands. Put your hands up if you've ever used a code to go to a world. Okay, not too many, huh? I would say a quarter. It could be a bit lengthy to type sometimes, I do agree, but I found it handy to help out sometimes. So what else have we got there? Customize the avatar place. We'll probably take a look at a little bit of that in just a second. So going in now, oh yeah, in a world, what do you think of this? That make you happy? It always makes me happy when I go to an Altspace world and I'm ready to find something new there. And it's pretty decent. I love this surrounding. That's really nice. As a matter of fact, my wife, when I got my wife in here to go check out a world, she said, "Oh, I love it. I love it. This is so beautiful." She was talking about the entrance here. And I had to say, yeah, I didn't quite make that. But one thing, I think there's room for improvement here on the Altspace side, in that these tips are a little bit old-fashioned looking. Maybe they're supposed to be the color of camping. Altspace seems to love campgrounds and stuff. Do you agree? I don't know. This is like 50s in color. It could be a bit more exciting. And are they changing them? Are they? You guys know? Do you tend to kind of ignore them? I'm thinking this is a great opportunity for Altspace and Microsoft to really tell us some new things. I think that any redesign of Altspace should come with a redesign message here, just so people start looking at them again, and to make sure that those events are current. I'm not even sure they are, because I've sort of tended to ignore them now. But it's a good idea. What it is while we're loading, give people something to do. Okay. Usually these days, what do you guys do when it's loading? Do you look around at the sky? I'm not sure, but hardly do I actually read that. I watched the menu bar load, that's kind of, or not the menu bar, the progress bar load. And that's kind of fun. I found that the progress bar, to get to the nitty gritty, is hit and miss. Sometimes it seems to give you how big a world is, and sometimes it doesn't. I wish it were always a little bit more specific. But anyway, no big deal. That's our message screen in. And here, we'll hit to the crunch. This is it. I think if we asked anybody about the AltSpace interface, if they were to complain about anything, mind you, I love it, but I hate it, is this thing right here. It's always in our face. It's always moving with us. It's like, especially if you ever want to video something, if you use the outside video, this thing's constantly floating in front of you. Yeah, okay, so you guys tend to agree. There is a totally easy solution to this. On the computer, it's not so bad. It's tucked here in the left-hand corner. You get to see everything else fine. This is tucked in the right. So this is a computer screenshot. But when we're in AltSpace, this is a lot of stuff to be in our view. There are, of course, tricks. Do you know the tricks? You grab it. You can grab it. Why don't you all try now? So take your left or right hand, use your middle finger, and grab it and put it up above you. Boop, like that. Okay? Now it's not in my face. You have to sort of remember, oh, yeah, it's... And mind you, I don't see too many people using their menu in the sky. So usually they would have to pick it up and bring it down, and that can be a bit bothersome. But sometimes that's where I put it. Sometimes, if I really want it out of the way. But there's, I think, a better solution. You ready? It's going to be the next screen. You're probably guessing at what that solution would be. You ready? Here it is. You can choose this menu or this one. What do you think? Yeah. And then you just roll over it. So as soon as I roll over it with my cursor, it opens up. That's what a radial menu is for. Just collapse it. When you roll over it, it goes boop and opens up for you so you can get the stuff inside. And that way, it's sort of a clean in your vision. And look at that beautiful AltSpace icon. I mean, you almost can't get much better than that. That's a wonderful little A symbol. Sorry, did you say something? Yes, it is beautiful, just like your shirt. The AltSpace there. Wouldn't that be nice? Now, I don't know for sure if I want the time there. What do you guys think? Let's have a show of hands. Who would like the time there? Put up your hand. Or emoji. Okay, a few of you. Who would not like, put down your hands. Who would not like the time there and would just like the circle? Okay, maybe we could choose somewhere. I'm going to show you some VRCHAT interfaces. And in the VRCHAT interfaces, you'll see that kind of stuff is very customizable. We could maybe use a little bit more of that. But anyway, I think this would be lovely. We roll over it, and then it expands open. Okay, so can you tell what's different here? Anybody see it? What is different here? If you see it, use it. Yeah, let's all get our emojis up and take a look at that menu. Okay, I've just done that. And you know what? Which is about half the time for me. I've just clicked on the emojis. And I don't see them anywhere. Oh, there they are. You know what I mean? How many times have you lost emojis? It just happens to me almost every other time I look for emojis, I lose my emojis. But I have found them. Once again, the emojis can be moved. So you guys do know that you can grab them with your middle finger, so to speak, and move your emojis about. And maybe that's a problem because I move the emojis to somewhere and then I turn and then they're gone because I've moved. Have you ever done this? Have you, like, if you see somebody doing this, you know what they're doing? They're trying to catch their menu. Yeah, totally. And I swear that happens to me in events. In an event, when I need my interface, I'm trying to go like this and I can't grab it. It's way to the right of me. And so I have to restart. I have to come back in. It's like, so Microsoft could use, or AltSpace could probably use a little help there or something so that the emoji never goes right out of view. It's very annoying. Anyway, here's an emoji circle, and it's not too bad. It gives us our basic emojis. It'd be interesting to find out which emoji people think is missing. We don't have a poo emoji. Do we want one? Maybe, huh? But anyway, those are the available emojis. You're going to see in VRCHAT that this would be the first menu of VRCHAT emojis. When you click on an emoji type, it would open up yet another whole set of emojis. So I think we're a little bit low in emojis. On the other hand, it does keep things simple, and maybe it's okay. There's other things to talk about with these emojis, such as this weird hand one. Give me the hand, you guys. Everybody give me the hand emoji. Let's see what it looks like. What I found really cool is as you move around, okay, hit a bunch of hands and move around. Like go sort of like move as you do your hands. Hand, 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 and then move. What happens is you end up with this trail of hands that follow you. And that looks so cool. The only thing is we don't see the same thing you do. You see a hand that stays in place as you go, and everybody else just sees a bunch of hands right above you. So it's not as cool for us to see. I used to do that at raves all the time because I thought it was so cool, like this trail of hands going. But whatever. Okay, thanks for those hands. Yeah, that's the only emoji that works in a little bit of a different way. And what I found a bit awkward with that is when I want to turn the hand off, it's like, oh no, I'm showing the hand. The first thing I do is hit the hand again. Try and toggle it off. Like if it's sitting there, I want to toggle it off immediately. There's no way to toggle it off. Instead, I just get another hand and it stays even longer. It's like, oh, that's not what I wanted. Ah. Anyway, isn't that funny? If it is funny, you can give me the happy face emoji. I guess that's what that is. Is it a happy face, really? No, happy face is with the heart up at the top. This is a laughter emoji. And then a sad emoji. Okay, fine. Okay, so here's another slightly bothersome thing. I mean, it's wonderful that we have a camera, right? This is the camera. So here I am in the pagoda scope. Well, I'm not, but our camera guy, Camera Coos, that's him up there. Camera Coos is here in the pagoda scope, and he's taking a picture in a reflection. So that's like our mirror. That's basically a video or like camera that's looking at him, and the camera is displayed on a monitor. Unfortunately, so is the actual camera. So, sorry, the picture of you is on the monitor. The camera is also on the monitor, and when you take a picture of it, unfortunately, the camera is actually in the picture. So that really sucks. In a place like the pagoda scope where we're taking pictures and you see a flashing camera in the picture because it's in the mirror, that's too bad. Other things to do with the camera. How many times have you taken a picture of something, but it goes 3, 2, and then something's gone, and then the picture snaps? You know what I mean? It's like, oh man, I just missed it. Especially if you're taking action things like people with batons twirling and cool stuff, and you go to take a picture and you have to like time it ahead of time. Why? Why bother really? When you take a picture of something, why not just take the picture right then and there? The selfie, I don't know, selfie, maybe put a timer on it. What would be cool though, is if it had the timer, yeah, and you could leave the camera there. So then it could be like this. You ready? I'm going to take a picture of you guys. I hit the camera. I've got 3, 2, 1. I come over here and I'm in the picture and the camera stays where it was. That would be kind of cool, wouldn't it? Now, which one do we want? I don't know. Maybe a couple of them. Perhaps the camera being very important. We got a couple here. Maybe it just opens up another little menu that lets us choose different types or a setting somewhere that allows us to toggle that. Anyway, on we go. A portal. The first time, hey, Veronica, glad you made it. The first time that I used a portal was just wonderful. Do you guys like portals? It's like, yeah, cool. All our friends, we get to go somewhere together. That's pretty amazing. I do find that the words are a little confusing because we've got teleport, which is this, teleport, and then a portal, which is something else. That's we also call that a teleporter, though, don't we? Does anybody call those things that you walk into a teleporter? Like as in this thing right here? Or do you call it a portal? You know, it's so close, right? It seems like a teleport, seems like a port, whatever. But teleport is when we actually draw a line and go somewhere. This is a portal. Anyway, in making a portal, I've also seen people go, how do I get rid of my portal? I've seen people go, okay, I made a portal, but now what? And one of the problems is this right here. I've lost my laser. And here, I'll jump up. This right here, click or enter to launch. So I'm in Altspace, I make a portal, and I click that thing over and over again. It doesn't work. What we're supposed to click is the portal again. So we have to click the portal again, and then it works. Now I know that, but initially it was like a bit of a mystery. God, what am I doing? And the problem is everybody's connected to your portal waiting. So you're a bit flustered as you're doing the portal. But now I know how to do it. It's okay. I really do like the portal. I think that's quite wonderful. It's cool looking too. And so are these things. As a matter of fact, have you ever seen one of these blown up really big? Shushu. Shushu's a world builder, and he made it called, I think, the Teleportanium or something like that. Anyway, what he did is he blew up as a world builder. He made it really, really big, put it on its side, and basically you travel through this portal until finally it activates you. So it's quite a wonderful experience. And it's a lovely animation. It's so nice, even big. It really looks beautiful. One of the things that happens is when you go into a portal, that's it. Like that. Okay. But when you click on a portal, you get this message. So if you click on the portal, it gives you a chance not to go through. But if you walk through it, you don't get a chance. Did you guys like a chance?
Yeah.
Do you think like if you entered it walking, you would want to see a message that says, "Are you sure you want to go?"
Yes.
I'm kind of the no. You know, maybe you guys who are safety conscious, perhaps you go, yeah, give me a message, a confirm message. That could also be something in the settings. In the settings, do you want to immediately go through a portal or not? You know, something like that. Yeah, did you have a question?
No, I was saying hi.
Oh, hi. Hi to you too. Yeah, so it could be a settings, like a preference. Do you want to be warned before you leave? I'm kind of like, hey, I love it. I step into a portal, no time for interface for me. It's just, I want to go there. So it depends. It looked like I got a half and half of you. All right, moving into the menus then. This is our main menu down here. So we're going to take a look at some of the places that we can go down in the bottom. This is when you get some information on a place like the MoMA raves, which are a lot of fun. Manon couldn't make it today. Is Munster here? Shout out to Munster. He's not here yet. He's got his in-laws are visiting, and I said, well, that's perfect. Tell him you have to come to this talk by the world-renowned Dr. Abstract. And anyway, so here's where you can portal to the place or set up a portal. It was a little confusing sometimes, but I get it now, and I think that's good. And you can also mark or favorite a world. I don't know, that's an event, so you can't favorite it exactly. So moving along, here are the events. I find this calendar a little bit confusing up top. I mean, I get it. We're on Tuesday, so there it is. But sometimes if we're on Saturday, which I'm often in here in Altspace on Saturday, Saturday shows up over here, and all of that stuff in the back has already happened. If I were Altspace, I would put today right there, and then all of this stuff is the week ahead. Like, who cares about past events? Why are you giving real estate to past events? Just keep it consistent. I get it. You know, we're consistently Sunday to Saturday. Yeah, but you can be consistent in another way, and that is consistently put today right there, or maybe just one in. So yesterday's events are there. Here's today's. Here's the rest of the week. I think that would be easier for us. I have found that people tend to struggle with the calendar. Oh, thank you for the heart. That's menu. Click the menu to go to the next one. You know what I mean? I got all this interface, but like to change the slides, the interface is up here. It's invisible to you, but it's this way. Maybe what I should do is just turn it this way and put it right here. Then I don't have to, well, I don't know which way is better. There we go. Nothing like talking to people about invisible interfaces, huh? So right now I'm struggling because I have my round circle is in front of me, and my mic volume is showing. And my mic volume is this big square box that sits up on top of it. And I still, to this day, don't know how to get rid of that little box. It just sort of sits there in the way. I maybe have to wait. Oh, I've rolled over it by accident. I have to wait for it to go away. I can't close that box. It's annoying. Back in here, though, to what we're seeing, this is the worlds, and they've done a good job with worlds as far as I can tell. What is the nicest thing about AltSpace with worlds is the popular section. The popular section isn't like Google. It's not like overall, what is the most popular thing in the world? Hey, you cats. Overall, it's not what's the most popular thing in AltSpace. The popular is what is popular right now. And that's really cool because it gives people an opportunity. It gives the person who is proud of their world, who might never get it seen. But now if he just invites a couple friends or she just invites a couple friends, then all of a sudden it starts to get popular. You can see here, it doesn't mean there's only 3 people in here. If you can get more than 3 people, you'll be on the front of the popular world. And that way people get to explore a variety of worlds, which is quite wonderful. Okay, where'd I put that thing? Here are the people. So these are friends. I've heard a lot of people sort of complaining about friends lists, like I have too many. Oh, isn't that an awful thing? I just got too many friends. But some way to sort them, like sorting them perhaps by the date that they were friended, from the latest to the newest, or vice versa, or categorizing or tagging them somehow. Right? Yeah, little notes. That would be a good idea.
Automatically tell me the date and the world I was in when I friended them. That would be
exactly
to remember who it was.
The world that you were in. Yeah, that would be wonderful. Or just a column saying, which world did I meet this person in? Yay, hearts all around. Great idea. All right, into the settings, which I think are quite wonderful. I believe that we've got all we need, or most of what we need, with various settings. There's a few things which are tricky. Let me show you one. That's good. We've got turning and all that. Here it is right here. So this is in the headset. If you're on the computer, it doesn't happen this way, but in the headset, here are my controls for input. And arguably, the most important control for input is our jumping tool. Do we want a straight line or do we want a curve? A straight line or curve? Where is it?
Scroll down.
It's not there. You guys know where it is? Scroll down. That's right. So if your cursor is not on this screen, you don't even see a scroll bar. If your cursor is on the screen, you get a little thin scroll bar shows up. And then here is where it is. So we're going to go just scroll down. There we go. And you see we scroll down. There it is right on the bottom. Teleport aiming. So you can imagine when they first made this menu, that this was fine place. Teleport aiming, it's really important. So we'll just put it right at the bottom where people can see it. I mean, maybe they could have put it right at the top. Might have been better. But now that the scroll is, they just added one of the things to that menu, and the arc and line is under the scroll. So hopefully they'll fix that pretty quickly. Maybe Microsoft will be watching this. Hey, Microsoft. Are you out there? Hope you are. I actually, as much as people bash Microsoft on occasion, I'm quite a Microsoft fan. I've been using them all their life. I've been as mad as I possibly could at Word for doing something that I don't want them to do, but there's many things that they do okay. Anyway, I'm hoping that Microsoft and AltSpace will fix that problem right there. I love the environment volume controls and the ability to change that, and that's become that now works, I think, everywhere. It used to be that the media console, which is one way that people played videos, say at dances and raves and stuff like that the media console did not work with environment controls. So you couldn't go to the environment volume and change it. Now you can. So the web projector, which is another way that people show images and sound, always has been controllable with the environment volume. But the web console hadn't been. But now with the recent change, it has been. This is only in the last couple of weeks. Now we can change the environment volume at all of our dances and stuff like that. Unfortunately, that's a little troublesome for the DJs and the people putting on the events. They don't necessarily want the people on their dance floor turning down the volume and just talking right in front of everybody dancing. So that's going to be a bit of a contention right now. The raves that I go to, the sunny psychedelic raves, he's on vacation, so he hasn't experienced this, and I haven't tested to see how that's going to work. We did one pagoscope event with this issue, like with the ability to turn down the environment volume. Actually turned out quite well. And a MoMA rave, and it seems to be okay. People still dance, right? I think it's good. What would be ideal though would be to give world builders the ability to say this area has this volume, this area has that volume, and that is a known thing. Like we'd want to get to that eventually, where on the dance floor you got to listen to the volume, but if you want to talk to somebody, you go over to the bar where it's quieter. There is roll-off that does that, but what I'm talking about is maybe even two different sounds happening there. Yeah, so we want that, and hopefully it'll come along. But it is really nice to be able to adjust that now. All right, here is VRCHAT interfaces. So who's been in VRCHAT? Give me a hand wave or an emoji. A few of you. If you have, it is quite the quagmire of interfaces. Remember, interfaces is how you operate something in and out. And here's what you get. You get either the round menu like that, or you get this square menu. And can you believe it? I sit here. This is when you click a button, or like one of your forward buttons, I think, on either hand. You click the button, and a round one comes up. You click the button, and a round one comes up. You click the button, and a square one comes up. And you go, okay. And you click the button, and a square one comes up. You click the button, a square one comes up. You click the button, and a round one comes up. Seriously, I'm going, what the heck? And it turns out, do you know what it is? You click and hold slightly, and you get one menu. If you click really fast, you get the other. I think if you click really fast, you get the square menu. But if you hold for just a little bit longer, fraction of a second longer, you get the round one. Okay, so all right, sometimes you just have to learn how to use these systems. That does provide two ways through the menu. What I do find a little bit awkward there, let's just go next, is this. You know how we've got two buttons on the left-hand side, two buttons on the right-hand side, the ones by your thumbs underneath? Well, the front ones are the menus. Great. The back button is the mute. And I tell you, as I'm operating here, half the time I'm hitting just any button to make something happen. And I keep on muting myself over and over again. What I would do is I would make the round button on the front, the square button on the back, and put the mute in one of those menus. Anyway, whatever. There's our mute. Here are the emojis. Look at that. All sorts, like those are emoji packages. I've lost my laser. Hang on. Get my laser again. Okay, yeah, so emoji packages. So you click on those or press on them, and what it is it's a toggle thing. So you're actually using the toggle stick in this round menu. And as you move the toggle over, it then presses that batch. And same with over here. These guys right here are a whole bunch of different ways to change how this circle works. On the HUD, it's not considered, if it's on your hand, that's not a head-mounted display. That would be a hand-mounted display, which would also be HUD maybe. But anyway, if it's on your head, then it's tricky with Altspace. We don't have either. Our Altspace menu isn't really a HUD. It doesn't stay with your head. It sort of like follows you around. It's like a little companion thing. But anyway, you can change where this menu shows up. So that would be nice. You can also specify certain things to show on it and certain things not to show on it. And whoever is in the screen, if you would like to come out into the audience, come on, out into the audience and stop being on the screen. That would be handy. All right, so where'd we get to? This stuff is complicated enough. Here is one of the issues that I find with VRCHAT is the teleportation technique. What happens is a line, you press the teleport, just like you might in Altspace, but a line kind of shows where you're going to go, and then your 3D character walks along that line. And if you stop, then it just stops where it got to, I think, or maybe it goes right to the end of the line. I can't remember which one.
So it stops.
It stops, yeah. Yeah, it's not too bad. You probably can get used to it, but I think what you can't get used to is the fact that you've got to choose one or the other. You either have to teleport or you have to walk. Here in Altspace, I can jump, no problem. I can walk, no problem, instantly like that. In VRCHAT, you got to go to a menu. I'm going to show where that menu is. Let's go find it. So here are the two options again. We explored a little bit of what was in the round menu. Now here is what's in this menu. And by the way, in the round menu, which is presumably your fast menu, there's no jumping or walking option. It's not in there, which is, too bad, because that would be one of the first things I'd want to change. So over here, you have to choose, I think it's safety or something like that. Here's right here, Holoport 3P locomotion. And I'm afraid that you can see that the menu system is quite large. I didn't really look under safety to find out how I would be walking. And I thought that what it was is, as soon as you come into VRCHAT, they make you decide which way do you want to walk. You want to teleport or do you want to walk? And I took about 15 minutes. That's why I know these menus very well. I took about 15 minutes trying to find how to switch between the holoport or whatever they call it and the walking, and I couldn't find it. Well, I mean, it is in a pretty good location. It's right up top. Holoport didn't really mean much to me, but now I get it. Okay, that's their teleport. 3P locomotion, no idea really. And I just must have missed it. There's a lot of things to see here, and I didn't know how to switch back. Over here, there's some consistency issues with the menu. For instance, if you take a look at the HUD here, or whatever this is, the main menu, World Avatar Social Safety Settings. World's Avatar Social Safety Settings. World's Avatar Social Settings Safety. No big deal. I can see that half the audience. Nothing like nitpicking, but consistency is important. And the way some of these things all get the big menu, but some of these other ones that we saw here don't get a big menu, and it's kind of like, oh, I have no idea. You're getting a whole mix of different types of menus. It's the mute, by the way. So that would have been fine to put there rather than on a button. Here's the HUD on and off. So you can actually turn your HUD. You can hide this thing. So in Altspace, our circle. In VRCHAT, you can hide it and just not see it. If you do hide it, if you accidentally press your mute button and your HUD is hidden, you don't see anything. There's no warning that you're on mute. There's nothing at all. It's just like, oops, I'm on mute. You'd have to go into a menu and look right here to see if you're muted. So it's a little bit dangerous to hide your HUD and have that mute button as your main button. Okay, deep breath. How's everybody doing?
Interfacing well.
You're interfacing well. Oh, you all work on your interfaces there. Do we have any world builders here? Is there anybody show emotions on world builders? Only one. Are you at all interested in seeing some world building? Let me just give you a peek at it to show you that it's not really that scary. You don't have to use Unity or Blender or anything. You can just start building things yourself. This is what the interface for that looks like. You can open it up. There's a little sort of world editor thing, and you open it up, and this is what your panel looks like. Here's all the things that are in the world currently. Here's the main sort of menu as to what you can do. You can go and find some basic things, back up, get a skybox. These kits are things that you can build with. And then there's some lovely things down below that help you as you're moving things around in the world. For instance, you can make it so that you don't have to rotate them, and that's handy. That kind of keeps them at 90 degrees or however you want to call it. You can also make them move at various ways. So I can take a box and make it only move in the X position. It's in one direction, or in the Y, or in the Z sort of thing. So those are handy to have. Yay. Here's what the menus up here look like. If you need to come closer, you're welcome to see what's in here. But these are the types of things that are called feature kits. and I'm going to, there's 12 menus. So one of the problems with this interface is I've got to press with my little arrow, I've got to press that little thing right there. And I have to go, if I want my materials that I used here and in the pagoda scope, which are these clear materials, here's where they are. They're on the 7th page. So I have to click that thing 7 times. So here's the kit that has the shapes that I want. And then I have to go through 9 different pages to get that shape. So the paging is a little laborious and over again. If I want to make something like with 50 of these shapes, I've got to do that 50 times. Sometimes I'm in that menu, but if you close the menu, you got to start all over again and go to the 9th thing or the 7th page and then et cetera. So that could use some work. Maybe it's just scrolling, like swiping through it would be much easier than hitting and next. The naming is a little bit awkward too. And I think whoever makes the kit sort of does these names. But if you guys are going to name something orange window, purple window, you see what the problem is? Like blue window is way the heck at the beginning. So name it window orange, window purple, window blue, like they did rect blue, rect green, rect whatever. And that way they sort together. That's all. Common sense. When we go to position things, we get to set their X, Y, and Z in rotation. This is okay. One of the problems is if you're in Altspace, up will pop a little keyboard for you to start typing these things in. When you select one of these fields, it doesn't clear the field. It keeps all those numbers in there. You got to delete through all those numbers. It's quite annoying. Delete. And if you're doing something quickly, I don't know if you've noticed, but Altspace, certainly with those keyboard type things, doesn't want you to go really quick. You got to stay on it a little bit. If you go really quick, it won't register the press. Is that a question? Yeah.
Yeah. Is there a way to create an object at 0000, like at the origin?
Well, okay. The neat thing about it is when you go to create an object, you get this. I'm going to take you through that. One step, and I'll get to your question. If you take a look at this, that's how you can turn an object so that you can pick it up. You see that? Object spawner, it's called. So now I'm going to press on that. You see how I've selected it there? The problem is this panel is missing something. So now that we've turned the object spawner on, the scale is 0.34, but that's the scale of the object. Watch what happens. Basically, it's like this. Now if I pick it up, this is not the scale of it being picked up. So I'm going to go here. It's actually this interchangeable object scale, and that's how big it is. So usually what you do is you say, I want to pick this up. And if you just leave it at that, when you go to pick it up, it might be huge. It might be really small. It's going to be, when you pick it up, it would be 3 times bigger, and you might not expect that. Anyway, this field right here does not show up until you close the panel and open it up again. It's like, oh my God. So Microsoft has a little bit of work to do on that one. Basically, as soon as I click that, the panel should get bigger and show me the scale here. It doesn't. You got to close the panel, come back in, and then set your scale. And of course, once you know that, you get used to it. All right. There was a question about how to set something at 00. Okay, first of all, I'm now in edit mode. That's this one right here. I'm in edit modes. These are sort of our world editor panels, and you can collapse those by pressing here, and they all collapse. You can move these around, and they follow you kind of like this one, and therefore they get lost too. It's like, sometimes they don't even show up, but those are just bugs. Anyway, I've selected something in edit world. You see how it's red? That means I can't edit it. So here's the panel that says what I'm looking at right here. Ramp, left lower. So this is the lower left ramp. You see how I've written that? Ramp, left lower, not left lower ramp, because if I did that, then there would be right lower ramp, and they would be sorted in different places, in L and R. So there you go. I'm following my own rules on naming things. So this is the lower left ramp, and that lock means it's locked. And that was really nice of Altspace to do, because you often will select things by accident. and then you start moving them. So basically,
The
you
doesn't
lock
work
right
with the
here.
erase. You can erase things that are locked. That's crazy.
That's right. You can still erase. So that is true. Even if it's locked, you can still hit the X. And when you hit that X, there's no message saying, "Are you sure?" And there is no undo. So those are certainly some of the things like, oh, please give us an undo. That would be, oh, so pleasant. But anyway, we hit the unlock, and here's what happens. Now it goes like that, and you can see that the shape in behind is blue, and we're okay to edit this. So I'm going to go into the edit. Oh, what was your question asking? Oh, putting it at 0, 0. Okay, what's missing from this at the moment is when we go to add, if we were adding a shape, there's a little box right here. Oh, I can see it. Here it is. This, and this right there. It's just sort of a little box that's next to the menu. Whenever you add an object, it gets put into that box. So one of the cool things I realized is, oh, so if I pick up this box and I put it right against a wall, like I'll pick it up, I'll put it against, oh, there goes my laser. I'll put it against the wall here, and that's my menu. And then I'll add something, and the picture was right in the right place against the wall. So I almost don't even have to worry about angles. Look at that, I can just grab that at will. So that's kind of neat. In terms of putting it at 0, 0, it gets put there. To get to 0, 0, you need to go back to here and go 0, sorry, 0,
hand, right?
0, 0 by hand. Yeah, unfortunately.
Crazy.
Yeah. Mind you, most of the things you don't want to go to 0, 0. That's down in the floor somewhere, like usually you're working in space up here.
Right? Like start with a
yes.
Rotation that is not
rotation is important. And I do a lot of rotation with numbers. There are some people that just try and rotate. I'm going to show you how to rotate in just a sec. Let's get there. So now that we have something selected that can be editable, these little handles on the side allow you to rotate, but you don't have precision. You can't shift, rotate, or anything. I mean, this is in world. On the computer, there might be other ways. But you pick those up and you turn them. And that will, picking up this one will rotate it around this axis like that. Picking up this one will rotate it, I don't know, tell. But that's the idea. These little dots here, if I pick that one up, it sort of scales the whole thing bigger. If I pick this up, then it will scale it kind of the sides, like grow from the sides. So the scaling and the rotation is quite nice. It's fun working. I found in general, building here, I built all this world here, I built all the pagoda scope here, makes me feel like I'm constructing something. It makes me feel like I'm really here building, laying things out. I feel like an architect, an interior designer. When I'm on the computer, I feel like I'm on the computer, right? So I really like building here, and I would suggest you certainly give it a try. Some of the things obviously on the computer are easier, like typing in numbers and undos. I think you've got undos.
Go ahead, Cornelius.
Sorry, is there a way to copy paste an object in here?
Not here.
Computer?
No, not here. No. So, yes, go ahead.
Yeah, I actually tried to edit my world using the headset and my computer. Actually, in headset, it's kind of annoying that the menu is in my face. I can't move. I have to move it sideways, and that way it gives me space to work with objects. Whereas at the computer, it's a little bit easier because you have bigger screen, so that way you can move that menu, so it's not annoying and it's not in your way when you're working with objects.
Yes, that's right. The big menu that pops up is definitely in your face. However, it's nice that you can move it. Those big menus that I showed you in VRCHAT don't move. And what I found is, I'm standing here and the menu's too close. I want it farther back, and I have to like physically get up and walk backwards, so it's out of my face. But anyway, it is nice you can move around. It's sort of like, it can be helpful, but you can lose them as well, especially the keyboard. The keyboard you can put in a place and leave, and then the keyboard's still there, sort of thing. So that's how they've decided to do it with the keyboard, more so than it following you around. So sometimes you lose the keyboard because it's right behind you. You have to turn around and go, oh, there's the keyboard, finally, and put the keyboard back in its place.
You were talking about a lot of good things and good points and good tips. Maybe it's is there a way, like were you recording, for example, maybe to send the video or a link to the video into the support or some
Sure.
service to kind of use it
What?
for
Yeah. Why? Thanks. One of the things is AltSpace has a Discord, and on Discord they've got lots of forum areas where people talk about requests and interfaces and troubleshooting, and many of those things have been brought up here. And AltSpace and Microsoft are listening. Certain things have been fixed. Other things like their world building, it's taken a little bit longer for them to dig into, but they're converting into a new Unity. Maybe it's all coming along. And to answer your question, I suppose this is being recorded by that guy back there, who's being camera there. So hey, perhaps we'll post that at the forum and let them know that it's here. Thank you very much. Okay, we're nearly there. This might be almost the last one. Oh, here I am changing this. So look, I've made it smaller. And for this demonstration, isn't this hilarious? I just made that ramp smaller and realized, oh crap, there's no undo. So I had to painstakingly make it the size that it was. I didn't record what size it was before. So I had to painstakingly put that ramp back in the pagoda scope, which was a tricky thing to get it to change between the top ramp and the ground, was like a lot of fiddling. Anyway, it should be fine now. I just scaled it bigger and that was good. Here, by the way, the last slide is the backup scenario. So if I wanted to, I could have chosen my last backup. I name all my backups. AltSpace loses the names of the backups. I don't know why. I'm not sure how much faith that gives me in my backups. Truthfully, I haven't really gone back too many times, maybe just once or twice to backups. But that's really nice that we do have backups. However, it would be nice if the names got, stayed on there. I swear I put names in. Dr. Abstract, that's me, Dr. Abstract loves AltspaceVR. And I do, and I think we all do. That's why we're here. Sometimes we love to complain, and there are a few things, like the size of our menu, but I think that's pretty nice. So cheers, thank you very much, AltSpace. And I am Dr. Abstract. Here I am for the abstraction channel. When you get out of here, if you could, would be great if you give that channel some love. What I'm trying to do is grow up into the popular channels. So the more the channel gets subscriptions or whatever, then it gets closer. I'm on the second page. I'm on the second page. All right. Maybe I'll get to the first page. So please, one of the problems with this interface-wise, we can't access the channels from here. We can only access the channels from the computer. So that makes the channel, I don't know, kind of a little distant, maybe not as prominent as they might be. Yeah, and messages, a few other things as well. But overall, yay, thank you very much. And I am Dr. Abstract. It's a pleasure to have you here. I hope this was helpful, and I look forward to doing more talks here. I also do events at the Pagoda Scope. Oh, you're so sweet. Should have taken a picture or something. Wait, 3, 2, 1. No, I'm teasing. What I'd like to do now, while we've got just a moment, is let's just go take a quick peek at the cloud. We're going to go together. Follow me. Throw that away if I can. Oh, I can't. I keep on getting this thing until I pick something else up. Come on out this way. Who's going to be first? This is the cloud. The other one goes to the outer ring. Oh, off to the cloud we go.